I came across a website that shows all of the coal mines in West Virginia, past and present, surface and underground mines. And I noticed this underground mine down Elk River, below what we call the $1 Million Bridge. It's a little bit below Cow Run, if you've ever heard of that. And it was operated by the Webster Coal Company. And the name of the mine was the Pawsill Mine. It's actually listed here, but it's faint. So I looked at this map as well as this map of the Pawsill Mine that's on this website. There'll be a link in the video description, so if you want to go look at the mines, you can go find it. Here's Cow Run. This is the Elk River Road. And the way I access it, I came off the hill here that divides the Holly River forks and the Elk River, across the Elk River, and I got on this red line, which is the old railroad tracks that led from the Holly Junction down below the forks of the Elk and the Holly, and it leads all the way up to Webster Springs, or it did at one time. So this is another map that helped me locate where this mine was. This is the detail of the mine, of all the rooms and channels that are in the mine. And it stays at a relatively level elevation of around 1,070 to 1,080 feet, in that range, all the way back here. If you'd zoom in on the mine and look at the numbers of the elevations that are in this mine. So I started out on this dotted line here, which is that red line on the other map, which is the old railroad grade, across the river down here somewhere, and used the general GPS. It took me right about here, and sure enough, I did find the mine opening here, which you'll see, and then there's another depression over here, which I had guessed, because of its location, may have been a ventilation shaft, and sure enough, the map actually shows that is a ventilation there. It's in red, kind of covered up by my typing there. So if you want to look at it on Google Earth, for example, here's a Google Earth view of it. Here's the Elk River again in the center. This is about where this mine is, in this area on this hillside where I'm moving the cursor around. And if you see this dark depression area here, that's kind of where along the railroad track is and where that mine opening is. And I could superimpose that mine over it right here to give you an idea. So, I drove up on a four-wheeler, as you'll see, right close to the mine opening. Now, this obviously was a commercial mine. It's not a house coal mine. And you'll see a lot of what I call waste piles. I walked on waste piles all over the place here where they, dug this out of the mine. And all types of coal. Of course, there's all types of coal on the old tracks down there. This is the Elk River. We're crossing from the mountainside that's in between the Holly, right fork of the Holly and the Elk. You see how low the water is. I'm surprised there's actually this much in it. The Holly rivers are practically dry, both forks of the Holly. But this is the lowest I've ever crossed here. Right over there where we'll be crossing. Alright, as we're heading upriver to hopefully find that mine that I just showed you on the maps there, we're on the railroad grade between Holly Junction and Webster Springs. We're below the $1 Million Bridge, and there are still old railroad ties in the ground here. And I'm pretty sure a little bit further up here, last time I was here a long time ago, 7 or 8 years ago, there were the rails were still showing. So we'll find out. Plus, I believe there's some nice rock cliffs that you drive along here. Would have really been a scenic railroad for Braxton and Webster to have kept intact today. Okay, we're on the railroad grade, just past those railroad ties. What this must have been like with the train kind of here up against this huge cliff that was dug out for this grade. Right next to all these deep holes of water on the Elk. Must have been some view. Take a train ride. It's a shame Webster didn't keep that up for a scenic railway. Would have been worth a gold mine. Now, not very far past where those railroad ties were exposed in this old grade between Holly Junction and Webster Springs. Here's an iron rail still in the ground. I'm sure there's a lot more than just this one that's buried in here over the years. Surprising these weren't pulled up. My GPS took me to this spot on the old railroad grade, B&O railroad grade from Holly Junction up to Webster Springs. And that mine should be right here. And it looks, I've seen a lot of waste piles. Like this hump right there is a waste pile. I've already walked up on it. So we'll walk up here and see if we have any evidence of this mine that's on the map. Particularly that old mining map. This is the mine opening. One telltale sign is this water that's seeping out here. And I'll walk across this. You'll see the bits and pieces of coal and coal waste in the ground. Oh, looks like there's an opening right there. So here's that sulfur iron tainted water pouring out. So this would indicate close to the base bottom of the mine, the floor level. So the top of where that is higher than me, about 7 feet. So right in front here, there's a lot of collapse in this opening. Okay, as I walk up to this opening, hopefully it's not real dry where there's a bear in here. We don't want to surprise that. Sure looks like something's been there. All right, that's it. That looks pretty dark in there. I have to get the light on. Be right back. So we got the light on here so you can see better. Well, it goes back pretty far. No, I see way back in there, in the center of the picture there, where it goes down under this rock ledge. That's where the ceiling would be. In fact, oh yeah. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. Oops. All right, I'm gonna crawl in there just a little bit, not very far. Oh, just a little gap right here. You can see down into the, hard to see obviously. Darn. There's the floor of the mine down in there. I'll show you back here some more. How far back that goes. You could see some big rocks that collapsed right into the opening. Yeah, I'd like to get back down in there, like where it goes down, kind of in the center and down to look underneath this. Wow. See the cave spiders? Or cave crickets, I'm sorry, on the ceiling there. Just too much collapse. You can see these rocks have broken off where this opening was. No question this is the mine opening, based on the water coming out, all the coal and all the waste down in there. Oh, here's another opening. Look at the vegetation waste down in there. Tells me this was open at one time, and this is all collapsed. I need my device. It's too far down. Goes way back there. Oh yeah, look how big this mine is. Definite mine opening right there. I hear water dripping in there. If you walk around that hump down there we're at the face of the opening here, all this over here, just waste where they dug out of this mine here. So we're going to go upriver a little bit, see if we see any other evidence of mine or mine activity. Okay, 50 feet that way is where the opening to the mine was, with all that water that was seeping out, sulfur water, iron water. And just 50 feet away from it, here's a, no, it's hard to see with the camera, a depression here. And there's a hole there that leads down in the mine. This might have been an air shaft over here. Right from that depression there, about 10 feet away, what I believe it might be an air shaft. Found this top of a bulb of some type. It's real thick glass, so you know it's old. Maybe a light from the inside the mine, who knows. Okay, some other evidence here, some old tiles. Old tiles here. Okay, right next to what I'm calling the air shaft, that depression there. Here's a whole pile of these tiles. You see they're mortared together. What this was, I have no idea. More evidence of the mine here. There's coal scattered on this ground from about 20 feet away from the tiles and about 30 feet away from that depression back there, air shaft. That little road down there is the old railroad grade again. And we're standing on a waste pile. You look closely in the ground, you see all the bits and pieces of coal and slate and waste that they dug when they made this mine. I'm now a good 100 yards upriver of the mine opening. And as I was walking this old path, I started noticing what looks like to be coal or waste here, and this opening. Again, I don't know if I have to peer in here in a second. It's so dry, a bear could be hiding in here. Oh man, it's dark. Let me get the light. Whether this was attempted opening or not, I don't know, but you can see it just kind of dead ends there. There's water in there. It seems odd that the way this was dug out. Maybe this was an attempted opening here. And my opinion is this was an attempted opening because of the pieces of coal that are in the ground here. You'll see over here too, right here. I don't think that's accidental. Okay, a couple hundred yards away from the mine opening there, there's a bunch of rock piles that will give you an indication this was a field at one time in here. Long, long ago. You can see that other rock pile right there. That's the railroad grade up there. I just dropped below it. And of course, big chunk of coal, about 4 by 4 inches. Now that could have fallen off a train. This is back on the old railroad grade for the B&O that ran up the Elk River to Webster Springs from Mahali Junction. So we're going back to where the mine opening is.